Hello guys, and welcome to this Volkswizard video. Now the reason I'm up early on this dismal Sunday just before Christmas is because, not for Christmas shopping, no. Well, not really. It's because I'm about to buy my dream car. Now, the Audi R8 came out in 2007. That's a whole nearly 12 years ago. I remember the original launch in Las Vegas. I think TIFF went on it and the press came back from it astounded by how brilliant this car was. Well, I thought one day I would love to own one of these cars, but it's taken 12 years to do that. And by the time I could afford one, the early ones were a bit ropey, about 8 owners, and there's talks about chassis cracks. So I decided I was going to buy a later car, and I bought a 2014 Audi R8 V8 manual. I didn't really think I'd buy a manual because the S-Tronic's superb, but they're a bit cheaper, they're a bit cooler, they're a bit more involving, and that special metal gate like an old Ferrari is something to behold. So I'm about to get a train up to Edinburgh to drive this car back. I've paid about 10 grand less than I would have been buying it from a main dealer, but I've got the car I want and I've got a bit of budget there if something does go wrong. But it's a 5-year-old Audi with 20,000 miles on the clock, a full history. What could possibly go wrong? Well, stick with me because I've got 300 miles to do to get back home, and let's go and collect this Audi R8 V8. Okay guys, here we are behind the wheel of my Audi R8. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this video because I've got to get home. It's about 4 o'clock now, it's getting quite cold, and the further south I get, the warmer it should get. I hope to avoid gritters, but it's not necessarily guaranteed today. But I better get going, so I might stop halfway and have a recap, but at the moment I just want to get out of Stirling, where I am now, which is just to the northwest of Edinburgh, and get on the road. So catch you in a bit. Okay guys, first pit stop of the trip, and I'm at Charnock Richard Services with an Aston Martin. Which one would you rather have? Anyway, it's about 7 o'clock now. I've been driving about 3 hours and I've broken the back of the journey now. The car's been superb, 24 miles to the gallon, seats are super comfy. We've dodged one gritter by using the hard shoulder because it was sensibly in the middle lane, so there was room to get round it. Didn't get that horrible feeling of it being battered by stones, which I had in the Scirocco I drove back from Inverness. It's very impressive. The ride is absolutely superb. I heard that the R8 V10 Plus, which is the car that I really wanted, was a bit hard and you can't get magnetic ride. Well, this car's got mag ride, and in the softer setting, the normal setting, it's plush, it's like a limo. Apart from that, yeah, cruise control is really useful. The navigation might be a bit dated, but it's pretty good. I've been able to connect my phone and charge it up with the lightning lead connector that comes out the sort of the rear bulkhead, and I had music on without messing around. The Bluetooth is really good. It's been really impressive. I just need to get home now, so about 120 miles to go. I should do it on one tank. The fuel range with a nearly full tank was about 350 miles, and this trip's about 300, so it should be comfortable. Normally I end up having to put fuel in for the last sort of 10 miles, but I think this car is doing pretty well. We're doing sort of like outside lane motorway speeds, we're not going crazy. Anyway, without any further ado, I'm going to get back on the M6, get down to the Midlands, and hopefully get home for my supper by 9 o'clock. Okay guys, I'm here in my premises in North Worcestershire with an Up GTI and the R8 V8. So I picked this up 5.5 hours ago from Stirling near Edinburgh. Half an hour of that was just sitting at Charnock Richard having a bit of a break. So about 5 hours driving, 68 miles an hour average and 24 miles per gallon, which isn't too bad at all, although the roadworks on the M6, which is so boring, are actually quite good for your MPG. But then probably the bit on the toll road would have negated that anyway. So 24 is actually not too bad. It's probably a bit better than the RS4 I had that had the same engine. Yeah, so it's been really impressive, a really good GT car. I'm not sure it's got the character of the V10 Mark II that I borrowed off Audi recently. It's a lot quieter, but I think that kind of could be an asset because you do get bored of a shouty car like that and they are a bit too loud on cold start. Apart from that though, it's absolutely spot on, so I look forward to seeing it in daylight when I'm not exhausted. I'm not sure when. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I probably shouldn't be in, but if I've got time I might pop in the morning. If I do, I'll make another video on this car and just give you a quick talk through, and that will sign off this video a treat. Okay guys, it's the morning after the night before and it's not been a dream. My dream car is here in the metal. So I haven't had time to wash it. It's Christmas Eve now, I really haven't got time to be doing this, but I thought I'd get it in because it's a nice end to the video and then I can upload it tonight and maybe it'll be live over Christmas, all being well. So I'll just give you a quick tour of the car. So it's a 2014, so it's one of the last of the Mark I R8s. It's a V8. They deleted the V8 for the new car that came out in 2015. They also deleted the manual gearbox. So this has got the clickety-clack metal gate gearbox manual. It's Suzuka grey, which to all intents and purposes looks like white really, but it's got quite a nice pearl to it. It's a facelift car. A lot of you have been asking about the tailpipes because they look like the ones off a V10. Well, this 2013 model year facelift got these, and it got a few other bits and pieces like dynamic indicators, which if I can find the key I can show you. Yeah, so it's got those indicators that are pretty common now on other Audis, but yeah, this was probably I think the first use of them on this car. Unfortunately the front ones are not, but you do get LED headlights as standard on this facelift car. This car's got a few extras. The Alcantara, we'll just get out of the way first because that's a no cost option, so you don't pay extra for it, but it's quite a nice touch. It's got B&O sound system, it's got rear view camera, it's got illuminated door sills, which I can't show you in this light, but they look pretty cool in the dark. What else has it got? Standard navigation. It's got the Audi music interface, which means you can just plug your iPhone into there and you can play music through there. It's got something else. Cruise control, yeah, take it for granted really, but it is an extra. And a couple of other bits and pieces. Now it's not perfect. A couple of wheels need refurbishing. As you can see on that one, there's a bit of corrosion to the trim in the engine bay because water gets in through here. This is actually open, so that just needs a bit of polishing up and painting. There's a bit, the paintwork looks generally excellent, but there's got to be something, and there's a bit of lacquer missing off there, so it's probably been smart repaired by the dealer that sold it to the last owner. It's just a two-owner car. It was one of the cheapest in the country, but I think the combination of colour, manual box, Alcantara isn't to everybody's taste, but if you know me, which you might do by now, I do quite like unusual things. So I'm just trying to find the service book. Okay, good, there is a service book. Digital service book, wow, on this car already. So I've got all the receipts at home, so it's got a full history. It's been serviced, I think, nearly every year, which is quite unusual for an R8. This is an old one. But yeah, delivered by Paragon, so that's effectively Audi UK. If anybody knows what this car was doing, I'd be quite keen to know. I don't think it was a press car. I can't imagine it was a driving experience car being a manual box, because quite likely a lot of people over-rev them. But anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this Volkswagen video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Please stay tuned because there'll be lots more content on this car soon, and I'll see you for the next one soon. Have a great Christmas, everybody.